How'd you get that black eye?
I'm not telling
You're not telling me.
you.
Hey guys, it's Lauren, and we are still saving with 7. Today is the day after Thanksgiving. While I was halfway getting ready for the day, I had a thought and thought I would do a really quick video on the best way to reuse your Thanksgiving fixings. Most families will eat on their Thanksgiving fixings for like the next couple of days, and then if you are like most people, they will sit in the back of the fridge for like 2 weeks till they grow some hair, and then you throw them in the trash. What a waste. Not this year. So this year I'm going to give you some really quick tips on how to make those holiday fixings last. Yes, baby? What are you doing? Apparently I'm gonna have a little helper today too. She's gonna help me out in the kitchen, aren't you? Yeah? All right. So we're gonna make this happen. If you are like our family, we go through our meat first. That is the number one thing that goes really quickly. We make ham sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, things like that. So it goes really quick. Tip number 1 is to go to your freezer and pull out the meat that you have in there. So we are going to figure out what kind of meat that we are going to make today. The day after your holiday is the best day to start making up some extra sides or meat to go with your Thanksgiving, with your holiday sides. So I went in my freezer and I found some pork chops. So we are going to fry up some pork chops to cook with our Thanksgiving sides. As you can see, it is the yellow stickers, which are my favorite. We paid $7.69 for these, and we're gonna make it work. I made a video. No. We are also going to peel some potatoes and make some mashed potatoes to go with our other sides. Let's see what we have in the fridge. Ugh. Last thing you want to do is let everything sit in the back and just let it go to waste. So we are going to pull everything out, see what we have. One tip that I can give to you is if your family is a family that will not eat the same thing over and over, unlike mine. Thank you, Bob. My son is always on board for eating meal after meal if it's a holiday side. Yep. One tip you can do is pull out your favorite sides that you want to eat first. Suggestion is that you start with the ones with dairy in them. Eat those first, and then you can place the other ones in the back or even freeze them for later and just pull them out week by week. They won't go bad. Okay, so one thing you can do is go through your fridge the day after and try to organize all of your sides and leftovers so that you can decide on what you want to do, what you want to save, and what you're going to use first, what you're going to freeze, things like that. Maybe you can make some stuff into different meals. That's pretty good. One thing that you can do too with your leftover meat, if your family isn't going to eat it like by itself or as a sandwich, you can go ahead and chop up some of that meat and even put it in your eggs and make like an egg scramble the next morning, which is pretty good. So let's dig in here and see what we can find. One thing that I did find in the far back of my refrigerator, a million things of eggs, honestly. Half bottle of balsamic vinaigrette dressing. So what I think I'm going to do is I may put half of this on some of my pork chops that I pulled out to make today and bake this on them and see how that turns out. But I don't let anything go to waste. So, all right guys, all cleaned out. Now we have all of our sides and everything on the bar. Thanks for helping, baby. Just one example of how I don't throw anything out. This is not a tub of butter. It's actually one of our sides. While I have everything out right now on the bar is go through and put different sides like in different containers. I hate when stuff is stored in foil. For one, it rips. You can't put anything on top of it. So I will go through and just put everything in different containers so that it lasts longer. that just in foil? Oh yeah, that needs to be taken care of. Yeah. An entire side just in a foil container. Can't put anything on top of it. Can't put it on anything, so we're gonna take care of that. Okay, example number 528 on how I never throw anything out. This right here is the best part. This is the ham bone and drippings. If you are a real Southern girl, you will save this and put it in beans and cornbread for one night for dinner. It is the best beans and cornbread you will ever eat. No other seasonings needed, just throw in the ham bone and some of the drippings. My family loves this and looks forward to it every Christmas and Thanksgiving.
We're going from this
All of this
to this.
right before Thanksgiving actually happened, Walmart had some of their pies on sale, and I took advantage of those. I got 2 of the pecan pre-made pies. I'm not a baker, never have been. So I went ahead and got 2 of them. However, we had 2 Thanksgivings at our house this year. Yeesh. And we were so fortunate that people brought a ton of food and mostly desserts. So we actually did not break either one of these open. So I am going to freeze these and either bring them out in the next couple weeks so that we can kind of eat on for dessert at our house, or I'm going to freeze them and save them for Christmas time, because if they're frozen, they're still fine. So I got them for $2.97 though. That was a huge deal. 50% off, guys. So I went ahead and got 2 of them. So even though we didn't use them, we're gonna save them. I've got potatoes cooking. I have pork chops in the oven cooking. And I've just mixed up some cornbread that we're gonna put with beans and the ham bone left over from this Thanksgiving. So that's at least gonna last us the rest of this week with our already leftovers from the holidays. So making 3 extra things to go with all of this, really it's not that bad. I'm basically taking a week off from cooking just by going at it the next day. When you have this many mouths to feed, everything is restaurant style. Yikes. Thanks to my mama, I learned at an early age how to make some mean southern mashed potatoes. Huh, baby? Alright. Now we're just passing it down, aren't we? You like mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
You're like a little mashed potato. Give me a kiss. Not bad for something most people would have just thrown away. Leftover lunch done, everything back in its place. Okay, quick follow-up. We are okay, so just to follow up with everything, we are turning Thanksgiving leftovers into multiple meals throughout the week to make it easier on everybody who doesn't want to cook after having cooked a huge meal for the holidays and not wasting anything. That's the key. So most of the time people will leave the leftovers in their refrigerator for weeks to come and let them go bad. So I am doing a quick video on how to get the max use out of all of these things that you've spent all this time cooking throughout the week. So we are turning our ham bone into crock-pot beans and cornbread for one night's dinner. I have made a extra side of mashed potatoes and some discounted meat that I had in the freezer. We used pork chops this time. I cooked those up in the oven. In our family, the meat tends to go the quickest just because we'll make sandwiches out of it. And there's just so many sides left over that we always get like a little bit of those each, but we max on the ham. So that always goes the quickest in our family. So having some extra cooked meat in the refrigerator to go along with our sides will go a long way. That way people aren't just having like a whole plate of just leftover sides. There's actually some meat left over in there. So I found a partially used dressing, salad dressing that was in there, like a balsamic vinaigrette. Instead of throwing that little portion away, I decided to use that and marinate my pork chops in. So went ahead and put that on my pork chops, baked them in the oven, and there's the side. I will cook the crock pot beans in the morning, and there's another night of not really having to cook. Crock pot anything is super easy and fast, so that will go a long way. With all the sides that are left over, I will probably not have to cook for the next 3 to 4 days, which would be very nice. So after I throw that on the crock pot in the morning, I won't have to worry about dinner for a couple of nights. Very nice. Since yesterday was Thanksgiving and we all have those awesome Thanksgiving leftovers, I want to do a quick video on how to maximize use of all of those Thanksgiving leftovers that we all have in our fridge. So making sure that we don't put anything to waste, put everything to good use. So hope you got something out of this video, and I will see you guys very soon. Okay, well, that's it, guys. That's a wrap. Happy holidays. Kitchen is back to normal. Sort of.